Hey everyone, it's May, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to choose the right college for you. So I have notes for this on my phone, so I'm going to be kind of referring to that, but I'm basically going to talk about the 4 types of colleges, which are community college, state university, university meaning like University of California, Berkeley, so like a UC or like a U of whatever state, and private schools. Because these are like the main types of colleges, and I just want to talk about the pros and cons of each one and how to know like which one will be best for you. So we'll start with community colleges. Just in case you don't know what they are, I'll just quickly say that they are 2-year colleges where you can get your associate's degree, and some people just go there to get their AA, but some people go there to move on. So there are a lot of good things about community college, and the most important thing is that it's really cheap. So if you are looking at colleges and you're like, oh my god, like everything is so expensive, just go to community college. Like it's so much cheaper. You're going to be getting the same education, and it doesn't matter because then you'll go to a 4-year and then that's where you've graduated from. So you still can graduate from a 4-year and start at a community college. Also, if you don't know what you want to do, like you don't know what you want to major in, that's a really good option because you can explore your options without tying yourself to a school. Then you might end up changing your major and they might not have it and you'll have to transfer somewhere else and it'll just be a hassle. But at community college you have 2 years to figure it out, so there's that. And if you're not ready to leave home, that can be a really good option too, because it's just kind of like an extension of high school. You're just going to a different school and you can still live with your parents if you don't feel like you're ready to go away. And also, if you don't have the grades for the college you really want to go to, like don't settle for a college that you didn't actually want to go to because your grades aren't good enough. Go to community college, work really hard, and there's a good chance you'll be able to get into the college you wanted to go to. Now, the cons of a community college are a lot of people there are going to be, I don't know because I've only taken a community college class over the summer, but just from generally assuming this, a lot of people that go there are going to be people who couldn't get into a 4-year. My guess is that there would be a lot of people who are kind of like not as motivated. So that doesn't really affect you that much, but like you don't want to be stuck in a group project with them. I don't know, because I always found those people irritating in high school. I mean, living at home for 2 more years could be a con depending on what your situation is, so there's that. You're not going to get the traditional college experience of living in the dorms and meeting friends and going through like the whole college freshman thing and then like meeting people and getting an apartment later. Like I guess you could still live in the dorms as a junior, but it's not really going to be the same. So you're not really like getting the traditional college experience. If that's something that's important to you. Also, a lot of community colleges are really impacted, so it can be hard to get out in 2 years because there's so many people that need the same classes. So a way to avoid that is to take AP classes in high school. I highly recommend taking AP classes. Like it has saved me so much. Like my AP classes have helped me out a lot. Also, taking like community college classes over the summer while you're still in high school, like I was taking one last summer and there were people in high school in it and I was like, why didn't I think of that? Like I probably wouldn't have wanted to in high school because I was like, oh, I don't want to do work over the summer, but like, oh, that would have helped so much. So anything you could do to make it so you have less classes to take so that you can get out in 2 years, do that. And also, this is no matter where you go to college, they're going to give you your registration time, put all of your classes into your shopping cart well before that so that when it's your registration time, you can hit enroll instead of having to like do all of that. I don't know how many people know that, but that's a good hack for you. Also, for community college, or I think some other colleges have this too, but I know California community colleges for sure have this, placement tests for English and math. If you score badly on them, then you have to take remedial classes, which will make it harder to get out in 2 years, so make sure that you take those seriously. And also, I know that for like my school, Cal State Long Beach, I never had to take our placement test because I scored high enough on the SAT or something like that. So if you have like good enough SAT or ACT scores, you can be exempt. So just that's something that can help you too, so that you don't even need to take those tests. But if you do have to take them, just make sure you study and like you really try on them because that could really impact your time that you're going to be at community college. So the next category I'm going to talk about is state schools, which is where I go to, Cal State Long Beach. Woo! State schools are public 4-year universities. They are the cheapest 4-year colleges on the market, so that's really good. They're more expensive than community college, obviously, but if you're looking for a bargain for a 4-year school, definitely state schools. At a state school, your classes are likely going to be smaller than at a university. I know that Like most UCs have like giant lecture halls. At Cal State Long Beach we have like very few big lecture halls, and our GE classes, like the biggest, are going to be like 100 or 150 people, and most of the classes I've been in are small. No matter where you go, you're going to have smaller classes as you work up into your major, but I just think that it's kind of like the private school experience at a public school, if that makes sense, because private schools have small classes, which I'll get to, but yeah, that's just something that I like about state schools. And a lot of the professors are there to teach you more than do research, which is more like at universities, professors are like researchers who teach. I find that at state schools, the professors are more focused on actually teaching. So the cons of state schools are that some people are going to have like this C's to get degrees attitude, because state schools are easier to get into than universities. There's going to be people who like didn't do as well in high school, but I still think that in general, like most of the people in my classes are pretty motivated to do well, so I wouldn't really say that's that big of an issue. Some state schools are commuter schools. This can be a problem for someone if you really want like the traditional college experience of having like big dorm life and like people on campus all the time. Then maybe a state school isn't for you, because a lot of them are commuter schools. Like Cal State Long Beach is considered a commuter school. It doesn't bother me. Like I'm just in the dorm room doing homework all weekend, so I don't care whether people are there on the weekend or not, and our housing is still great. Like they put on a bunch of events and stuff, so I don't really care. But if that's something that matters to you, then that's something to think about. And also kind of the same thing as community college, a lot of state schools are very impacted, so just the same thing that I said about that goes for this too. But kind of like what I said with the impaction with community college, like don't let the 4-year graduation rate of some state schools scare you. It's really possible. It is possible to get out in 4 years. You just have to like have a plan and stick with it, because if you change your major 15 billion times and have to take remedial classes, and like it can mess it up. But if you know what you're doing and you get your classes in your shopping cart before you enroll, like you'll be fine. Type 3 of colleges are universities, so this is like University of Wisconsin, University of Oregon. One of the pros is the prestige. A lot of them are hard to get into, so it might look better if you're trying to go to grad school. You can brag about it. You're going to have the traditional college experience with a lot of community and people living on campus. A lot of people that go there are going to really care about academics because it was hard to get in there, and a lot of people are probably going to be focused on going to grad school. I think I watched a video on this. In general, UCs are more geared toward teaching you theoretically so that you can go on to grad school. CSUs are teaching you more, getting you ready to go into the workforce. So that's just something to think about. That's like not true for all of them or all the classes or all the majors, but in general, that is something that is true, I think. And so, like, it makes more sense for me to go to a state school because I'm not looking at going to grad school. But if you are, maybe a UC would be better. And this is just California because I live in California, but it's probably similar for other states too. Also, UCs or universities in general get more funding than state schools do, so that's something to think about as well. And now for the cons, they're going to be way more expensive than state schools. Tuition is about twice as much for UCs as for state schools in California. There's still impaction, not as much as in state schools or community college, but it's still definitely there. Also, universities are commonly research facilities, which means that your professors are probably, depending on the class, going to be focused on research and just doing teaching on the side, and they're not really going to care that much, and they're going to have TAs that are really the ones teaching you in your section classes because your classes are going to be so big and the professor's just going to be up there mumbling that you have to have like section classes where the TA breaks down the material for you. I know that I couldn't learn that way, so that's why one of the reasons I didn't want to go there. So yeah. Now for private schools, the pros are small classes. There's basically no impaction. It's pretty easy to get the classes that you want and to get out in 4 years. There are private schools for every like academic level, like what your grades are from high school. There are some that are really hard to get into, like Ivy Leagues or private schools. There are some middle of the road ones, and there are some that are fairly easy to get into. There's plenty to choose from in every state. A lot of private schools do have a religious affiliation, so that could be a pro or a con depending on what your religious beliefs are. And I visited a lot of private schools when I was looking at colleges, so I feel like I'm knowledgeable about this. A lot of the student population fell under the religious affiliation of the schools. If it was a Catholic school, they were like mostly Catholic, so if you are Catholic and you want to go to Catholic school, great, but if you're not, just keep in mind that there isn't that much religious diversity and people are going to be kind of like one religion. Private schools are definitely going to be the most expensive of the schools I've talked about, but don't let the sticker price scare you. Like, all the private schools I visited had so many scholarships available, so if you have good grades and test scores from high school, there's a good chance that they're going to give you a lot of money. And just see, like, at least apply and see what kind of money they give you, because it's worth a shot. Private schools won't be as well known as universities or state schools, so like Seattle University or something, or like Gonzaga, which is a school I fell in love with in Washington. Like, if someone asks you, like, where are you going? Gonzaga? Like, I've never heard of that, you know? So there's that. That might be annoying. You might not get the traditional college experience again that I was talking about, because I consider like going to a big university like the traditional college experience. Like, going to a private school, it might be small, they might not have that many sports teams, or their sports teams might not be that good, you know, so if that's something that matters to you. Also, due to the small size of the school, there is not going to have that much of a variety of majors to choose from, so if you end up switching your major, they might not have what you need, so that might be annoying, so make sure you know what you want to do. So I'm sorry this video was like insanely long, but I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below and I will always respond to you. And if you would like to see more videos about college and the other videos I post about writing and healthy eating, please subscribe down below and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!